Welcome back. In this tutorial we're going to look at items. Items are a key component of every game, and in Eadon character controller items are extremely flexible and powerful. The key component you need to start looking at is the resource manager. The resource manager is the list of all the items you can have in your game. I strongly suggest you make your own resource manager so that you don't accidentally overwrite if you make changes to the default one. You can create a resource manager by going create Eadon manager resource manager, or you can very easily take the default one, duplicate it and put it somewhere else. All the items in Eadon character controller have the same parent object. They're all defined in scriptable objects and they have similar characteristics. If we look at the sword, you can see it has an ID and UI, a general tab, and some other tabs. If you look at a consumable, you can see it has an ID and UI, a general, and something else. If you look at a clothing item, it has an ID and UI, general, and something else. So the first two tabs are common to every item. The first tab is the ID and UI. Here you have the item ID. The item ID is a string and needs to be unique within the context of your resource manager. It has no use in game except to distinguish items. The UI part determines what gets displayed in the UI. If you look, let's go back to the weapon, the sword. So you can see there's an item name, an icon, and a description. This is what gets shown when you go to the inventory. You can see there's a name, that's the item name, there's an icon, there's a UI description, and there's some more information which is specific to the fact it's a weapon. So you see the damage type and you see the actions that you can do with this item. Items can be added to the character by going to the inventory tab and clicking add new. Just make sure that if you use a custom resource manager, you set it on the player. As long as the item ID are the same, if you change the resource manager, the item will remain. If you change the resource manager and you added items to your character that do not exist in that resource manager, they will be silently removed and you will get a message in the console stating that the item was removed because it did not exist in the resource manager. Every item type has specific additional information, and we will look at in more detail on a number of these item types, such as consumables, melee weapon, shooting weapon, ammunition, thrown weapon, and spells. See you in the next tutorial.